Th- this movie.
This movie, man.
Cheers. Let's talk about it. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the official Nerd Talk channel. My name is Tyler, aka My Nerd Nerd, and I'm joined by a special guest today, my good friend, the number one Transformers fan that I know, the number one Halloween fan that I know, the number one Lego Ninjago fan that I know, my good friend, Sonny Miss. Sonny, what's going on, man?
What is going on, man? I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, absolutely. We are here talking about The Strangers, Chapter 3, the third and pray to everything holy final entry in the Strangers trilogy, directed by Rennie Harlan across the board. So for those who don't know, The Strangers was a indie horror movie that came out some odd years ago, which it feels like light years ago. But it told the story of a couple that gets terrorized by these group of mass killers, and simply they break in. Spoiler alert for that movie, but it's almost 20 years old. They break into their house and they kill them, and they simply tell them, "We killed you because you were here." Boom, that's it. And then in about, I think, 2017, 2018, we got The Strangers Pray at Night, which kind of took a more generic slasher approach to it. And then we got the announcement that we were getting a Strangers remake, and then they announced that it was going to be a trilogy, and originally the plan was to release all three of these in the same year. That was what we were told. And then chapter 1 came out and they said, no, we're not doing that. We're delaying 2 a year so we can do reshoots and we can shoot 2 and 3 back to back. Did it help? I don't know. So The Strangers, the original Strangers, I very much enjoy. I think it's a really atmospheric horror movie, even if it has some of the dumbest characters I've ever seen in my life. It still has a lot of tension to it, and I really like it. The Strangers Pray at Night, I don't like at all. I think that movie is really bad. But I do like the Strangers as killers. And initially, when we got the trailer for Chapter 1 back in 2024, which feels light years ago, I was interested. I was like, okay, it looks like it's going to take like a meaner approach to the Strangers, kind of like how the Friday the 13th movie remake took a meaner approach to Friday the 13th. And then we walked out of that movie and said, oh, what the hell was that? That was just a mostly shot for shot remake, and it has possibly dumber characters than the original. But then we get part 2. And it's like, okay, chapter 2, let's see, now that you're not remaking the first movie, let's just see what this one's gonna be. Turns out it was a little bit better, but it was still garbage. And so walking into this movie, I was not really excited, and walking out, they may have made the worst one. The Strangers Chapter 3 is the most asinine horror movie I've seen in a movie to date. Before we get this ask whooping started, what is your history with The Strangers, Sonny?
Oh boy. Okay. So for me, I love the first one. That is one of the few films to genuinely scare me. The atmosphere is not matched from any other horror film, I believe. And then for me, Pray at Night is fun, but I do think it's a massive step down from the first film. However, after this trilogy, I think it looks a lot better in retrospect. For part 1, for whatever reason, liked it when I first saw it. I couldn't tell you why. I don't know why I liked it. And then I watched it again and I hated it. Chapter 2, I didn't like it, but I thought it was better than part 1 at the time. Watched it again last week, thought it was worse. And then Chapter 3 might be one of the worst films I've ever seen. I Wow, what a movie.
I don't understand what this trilogy. So before I get into the negative, I just don't want to be like, oh, this sucks. Let's talk about the positive. I think across the board, the movies are shot fine. They look
Yeah,
their budgets. They look fine. I think there's like maybe one or two scenes in each of these movies where I was like, that was kind of cool. In the first movie was this scene where they had to sneak under the house. I thought that was kind of neat. In the second movie, there was a scene where Maya, the main character, has to like sit in a I don't know what a morgue body container. I don't know what they're called, but I thought that was kind of cool. And then in this movie, there's maybe one or two scenes that are kind of interesting. Beyond that, it just the other thing I like about this trilogy, it's really the only thing is I like that they kind of insinuate that everyone in the town is in on this. I think that's kind of a cool idea. Is it explored well? No. But it is a cool and interesting idea that kind of distances itself from the other two movies that we had gotten before this trilogy. With that said, now we move on to the issues that I have, and oh my god, this movie is so boring. Boring. It is the most boring movie I have seen, and I can't even tell you how long. This movie, you know what this trilogy feels like? This shouldn't have even been a trilogy at all.
yeah.
After seeing all three, this movie feels like when you write a report in school and you just keep adding words onto the simplest sentence known to man to make it longer and to match a word count. Instead of saying, I opened the door and grabbed the paper, you say, oh, I opened the door while touching my bronze doorknob and leaning down in a certain position to grab the newspaper, and then I closed the door. That's what this trilogy is. Because this movie, there is one goal that you have in your head while watching this movie. It's okay, how is she going to beat the strangers and how is this going to end? The end goal of this movie could have been reached in 10 minutes. This movie is 90 minutes long with credits. And
For
oh
no
my,
reason.
there are scenes in this movie that it just feels like time stops. It just feels like time stops. There is a scene where the main character is talking to this cop, and
Oh,
God, they're just staring at each other. And it just cuts back and forth, back and forth. They're not saying anything. There's no tension. You're just like, bro, what is happening? Something happened. It's just, oh my god, there's so many scenes like that in this movie where it just feels like just nothing happens. It's just characters looking at each other. There's a scene where two characters are just sitting in a church and they're just staring at something, and you're just it's like, dude, get on with it, please. And this movie, more than anything, kind of really highlighted how you could take these three movies, smash them together, take out all the dead weight, and have a passable 3-star movie somewhere in here. Have the beginning of this hypothetical one movie be the ending of the first movie. Have it be that this couple goes to an Airbnb, they get attacked, and then the boyfriend dies, and then she gets sent to the hospital, and then the strangers go after her, and then you have most of the second movie happen the way it does. And then the third act is like maybe 10 or 20 minutes from this movie. Just put it all together. But instead, you made three 90-minute movies, and then you pad the movie with useless flashbacks that do nothing. There's a side plot in this movie involving a court case. I had no idea what was going on.
why was this made? Like, really? Why did they make this?
And it's a
There's
shame
no point.
because Madeline Petch, I didn't like her in the first movie. I thought
Me either. I didn't
she was
either.
better in two. This movie, she does nothing. She says maybe 5 lines of dialogue in the whole
She
movie.
has, here's the thing. She has the same face throughout the
Yeah.
entire movie. She has no expression.
I don't understand. I don't understand. This movie ended and I was like, What
That's
on
it.
earth was the point? Yeah, I definitely had the feeling of really that was it. The way I said it in the out of the theater reaction that I'm gonna post to the channel is it felt like a wet fart of an ending, and that's
Yeah,
what the ending to this movie is so ridiculously stupid. Three people walked out of this movie before it even ended. I swear, I've never in my life, in 23 years of going to the cinema, have seen people walked out of a movie like that.
me
People
either,
walked out.
honestly.
I could not believe it. I was like, yo, they really just walked out. And it's just this movie is I keep coming back to this because it's true. This movie is so boring. It's so
It really is
boring.
boring.
And then the way that they resolve characters, dying and stuff, you're just like, that's it. The prime example, this is not spoilers. The sister of the main character shows up halfway through this movie. Where have you been this whole trilogy, bruh? You should have been coming to this town in the middle of the second movie, unless that was a thing and I just completely forgot. I watched these movies each once in theaters because you could not pay me enough to sit there and watch these movies again. But
Goodness no.
she just walks in and she's like, "Oh, I'm Maya's sister, and I'm looking for my sister. Have you seen her?" I'm just like, where have you been? The last 30 to 35 minutes of this movie is hilarious. I was sitting
It's
there
so
like,
funny.
People haven't made that many stupid decisions this movie. Oh, just you wait. There's a scene in an RV. Oh,
Oh, that scene is so funny. It is so
physics,
bad.
physics were gone in that scene. Oh god, this movie gave me an aneurysm, bro. I don't understand how you had such a simple concept of the strangers, of which they are scary on paper because they are the
Yeah.
strangers. They are nobodies. They will break into your home and kill you just because you're there.
Not in this trilogy.
Oh no. Now we have, oh, you want to know what Tamara is or who Tamara is? Oh well, here you go. You wanna know the psyche of the strangers? Well, here you go. I don't get it. I don't get
Man.
it. I wrote in my letterbox. I said I really want to know what the crew of this movie thinks they accomplished in three 90-minute movies that they could not accomplish in one 2-hour movie. If anything, this movie killed any hope for having a Strangers Anything ever again. Of which I do. Well,
Absolutely.
I'm done, bro. I don't want
I'm
prequels. I
out.
don't want another remake. You got me
No more movies.
because
At the rest.
this franchise is absolutely cooked. I don't know what Rennie Harlan was thinking. I don't know what the mindset of this. Credit where credit's due. He stuck to his guns. They made all three. 9 out of 10 times we get movies this bad. They just they pull the plug. They're like, nah, brother, you got it. They
They
Lionsgate
made all three
stuck to
bad.
it. Yeah, Lionsgate stuck to their guns and said, "Nah, brother, we're putting all three out in theaters. You either like it or you don't." I don't know what they were thinking with this. This is easily the worst horror movie I've seen in the theater this year, which I've only seen 6 movies this year. If this is not the worst movie I see in the theater this year, God,
We're in trouble then.
yeah, mm, and then the last thought, Madeline Petch, whatever her name is,
Yeah, that's her name.
she
Yeah.
she goes on a interview and says, "Oh yeah, every day we were rewriting the script to make it better." Brother, how? I'm convinced her saying that makes me want to point the finger right at her and say, "Bro, it's your fault." I'm convinced those like extra long scenes were those rewrites where they were just like, "We're gonna have this happen, very slowly."
Oh, they're gonna look so evil, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, could they be the
The,
strangers? Oh my
the
gosh, I'm
opening
so
scene
invested."
the opening scene of this movie too is the epitome of just wasting time. The opening credits to this movie were perfect. They played The Sound of Silence in the opening credits of this movie. When I heard that, I said, "Oh, pfft, somebody
I
read the
started
room.
laughing.
Somebody read the room because they absolutely know." But
They're self-aware.
yeah,
They have
man.
to be.
Do you have any other thoughts that I didn't hit?
I mean, my biggest thing is just why. what was the point? Um, these strangers don't really need any movies past the first one because why go past one? Like, there's just no point to it.
But even
And
Prey at Night keeps the mystery and keeps
yeah, it does.
the the idea intact of, oh, they're just random nobodies that they're going around killing people. So at least Prey at Night gets that right.
Yeah, I mean, somewhat chapter one did too for a bit, I guess. But then chapter two just took all of that down. Let's humanize them, give them backstories, let's butcher them as characters. Just why? What was the point?
I don't know. But yeah, final overall thoughts. The Strangers chapter 3 is an embarrassment. It is a fitting end to this trilogy, and it's one of the worst finales to anything I've seen in quite some time. I feel so bad for Madeline Petch because she has charisma and she has some chops, and I want to see her under a director and a writer that knows what they're doing, because you can see potential in her. But this, I don't know what they were thinking with this. This was an absolute waste of 4.5 hours across all three movies, and it's a waste of money. And I hope Lionsgate gets some investment back, because I think this trilogy was a disaster, to be honest. That's gonna do it for this review for you guys. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell for all notifications for future Nerd Talk videos and live streams. Our originals versus remakes for Death Wish is already out on the channel. We also put out a review for Sam Raimi's newest horror movie, Send Help, a much better horror movie. Go check that out if you have not already. Also, our review of Wonder Man, the newest show in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is on our channel. And we will also be giving you guys a originals versus remakes for Friday the 13th coming very soon, as well as a OVR for The Strangers. Believe it or not, I thought of the idea and I was like, yeah, we're gonna do it sooner rather than later. We'll just do the original Strangers and then chapter one, because it's basically a shot for shot remake. So that's gonna be a fun video, and we'll put it out soon so that way it still kind of coincides with this movie. But yeah, man. Let us know down below if you guys watched The Strangers Chapter 2. Did you guys enjoy this one? Did you guys enjoy all three? I don't know. Maybe there are people that enjoyed this trilogy for
That
some
is true.
reason.
Somehow.
But yeah, guys, if you guys enjoyed it, let us know down below, and we'll see you on the next review, everybody.